Hi, I'm actor Ian Champion, and welcome to History of Horror Cinema, my personal podcast tour of the good, bad, and the ugly of horror movie history. If you like what you hear, please don't forget to hit subscribe. MAIN du Diable, 1943. The 21st of April 1943 was a big day for the two generations of the Tourneur filmmaking family. On the same day that director Jacques Tourneur's second film for producer Val Lewton opened in America, I Walked with a Zombie, across the Atlantic in France, his father Maurice released the equally dark and otherworldly MAIN du Diable. Born in 1876, Maurice Tourneur was a former theatre actor who entered the film world as an assistant director for the Eclair Company in 1911. Before the decade was over, he had shipped over to America's East Coast and soon took charge of his own silent features for Eclair's New Jersey offshoot and then the World Film Corporation, including crime drama Alias Jimmy Valentine in 1915. By the early 20s, Tourneur firmly believed that Hollywood was the center of the industry. Having already taken American citizenship, he moved out there to establish himself further as director of The Christian. This tale of doomed love, starring Richard Dix, later to top-line Val Lewton's The Ghost Ship, would be sadly imitated in real life, as Tourneur's marriage collapsed soon afterwards. In 1928, his U.S. film career also hit the rocks. MGM sacked him from Mysterious Island over his painstaking commitment to the beauty of the shot. He was forced to return home to France and start again. Between 1930 and his death in 1948, Tourneur made 20 feature films and 2 shorts. MAIN du Diable, known in English as The Devil's Hand and Carnival of Sinners, starred Pierre Freinet, an actor of note from Hitchcock's first version of The Man Who Knew Too Much in 1934, and a lead role opposite Erich von Stroheim in Jean Renoir's famous war drama La Grande Illusion, 1937. MAIN du Diable is an engrossing Faustian morality tale made with great stylistic touches, warning against the dangerous seductiveness of easy, unearned fame. Freinet plays Roland Brissot, a tormented man on a personal mission who appears one night at a hotel in a mountainous region of France, bringing terror and intrigue into the lives of the other guests who've been stranded there by an avalanche. He is missing his left hand and carries a little casket that he zealously guards. Frustrated at discovering that a cemetery he seeks is not nearby, he is further perturbed when 2 rifle shots are heard and police officers turn up, seeking a diminutive man in black matching his description and bearing a coffin. Suddenly there is a blackout, during which Brissot's box is stolen. The locals' suspicions about him prove greater even than his mounting stress, until eventually he calms down enough to give them a deserved explanation. He tells them the incredible story that led him there. Tourneur gains solid performances from his cast, led by the harried Freinet, whom we discover is a painter of large ego but small talent, dismissed by the cognoscenti as the painter of perfume and vitamins. His inciting relationship, that of gold-digging girlfriend Irene, is finally portrayed by Jocelyne Gale, whom he picks up one day as a salesgirl in a glove shop. She becomes his model, yet soon realizes his potential can't live up to her selfish dreams of reflected glory, and leaves him. The cafe chef Méliès, Noel Roquefort, overhears the breakup and offers Brissot an extraordinary solution, a talisman that will bestow on him the fulfillment of whatever skills, talent, and success he can dream of, in return for just 1 penny. The talisman is a creepily mobile left hand nestled in a casket, and acts as a supernatural conduit channeling transformative power for its owner when it replaces his own. It's a strange bargain indeed, as Méliès combines his outlandish claims with the most chilling of buyer beware warnings. The absurdly cheap price is because each owner is also cursed from the moment he takes it up. Sell it before you die, and only by selling it at a lesser cost than he paid can the former possessor be saved eternal damnation in hell. As with all Faust propositions, in his greed, Brissot ignores the small print and buys the talisman, much to the elated relief of the chef, who doesn't tell Brissot that since there is no smaller coin than a penny, he won't be able to sell it on himself. Méliès doesn't get away scot-free, though. At the moment the deal is sealed, his left hand is reduced to a stump. Over the next year, as predicted, Brissot's occult handiwork turns him from scorned failure into the critic's darling. A revealing scene at his latest exhibition illustrates the motto of success having many fathers. As exhibitor Gabelin, a fittingly self-satisfied Guillaume de Saxe, competes with Irène to hijack credit for Brissot's success for themselves. The artist has other concerns. The ideas behind his disembodied work are a mystery to him, as is the hand signing each canvas enigmatically as Maximus Leo. What bothers him more is an odd little man who follows him around with a seeming knowingness, taunting him with an in memoriam wreath commemorating his new pseudonym. All becomes dreadfully clear when they meet. The bowler-hatted civil servant hides the far more sinister identity of the devil, a mischievous turn by the actor Palau, Pierre Palau del Vitri. His benign, twinkling exterior is reminiscent of Walter Houston's Scratch in the similar The Devil and Daniel Webster. See my earlier podcast. Yet here is even more wicked in true intent. Le Petit Homme, the little man, as he is credited, starts a fiendish clock ticking by telling Brissot that from now on, if he wishes to save his soul from hell's claim, he can buy it back, but every day's delay doubles the debt. This would be easy, were it not for Brissot's equal desire to buy the continued affections of the fair-weather Irène. This plot development in Jean-Paul Le Chanois' script is a gripping and fresh take on the classic Faustian bargain, trapping Brissot in a nightmare escalation of self-induced business debt that the 1990s real world would ride with sweaty-palmed vicariousness alongside rogue traders Nick Leeson. 23 days into the interest agreement, Brissot feverishly scrambles to put together enough buyout funds on a Saturday night when the figure is already over 200,000 francs. Seeing he is just 8 francs short, the cruel little devil spins the clock beyond midnight to double the debt further. By the time he owes over 6 million, Brissot is so frantic that he takes the advice of Angel, a man who'd shouted, "Don't buy it!" in vain back when he bought the hand, to turn his gifted hand to the roulette wheel at Monte Carlo. However, that rascally devil is onto him, and cools Brissot's winning streak by simply showing up. As with his son's films under the literate humanitarianism of Val Lewton, Tourneur adds a vital moral guidepost in Brissot's darkest hour of despair, a kindly croupier at the casino who arranges a ride home for him. When asked why he wastes sympathy on such a foolish customer, the self-piteous Brissot is told, "All men support each other like the links of a chain. When a link breaks, it breaks the next one." This crucial bond of care, albeit enlightened self-interest, is then illustrated to greatest effect in La Main du Diable's most memorably macabre sequence, a ghostly council composed of the chain of men united by ownership of the accursed talisman. They convene to help Brissot, and ultimately their eternal selves. Each man recounts their shared experience of his supernatural gain, followed by a sickening fall from grace requiring the desperate selling on of the hand. They are in turn a king's musketeer, a pickpocket forger, a juggler, illusionist, surgeon, a boxer, and finally Méliès the chef. Tourneur's montage of their lives is a mini-masterpiece, using expressionist backdrops, silhouettes, and shadows to visually depict the encroaching terror of consequences, for example the sloping wall and door of the pickpocket's cell, and the long clawed arm overhanging the fateful deal between Méliès and Brissot. Painstaking detail like this for such brief screen time may well have cost Tourneur his Hollywood career, but the thrilling mindscape he creates here was to French cinema and future horror audiences' benefit. Finally, the men are visited by the saintly soul who unwittingly gave his name and extremity to the awful chain of events. Against a wholly sunburst background comes the spectral form of a 15th century monk, the real Maximus Leo, who shunned using his many God-given talents in favor of the secluded hermit life. Seeing the bargained potential literally at hand, the devil cut it from him. Now the benevolent Maximus has returned to save their souls. One by one, symbolically chanting, "Rest in peace," the men pass the talisman casket down the bloodline that links them, until it stops with Brissot. He must fulfill its last resting place at the cemetery that holds the monk's tomb in the mountains where our story began. Brissot runs from the hotel and finds the graveyard after all. As the locals watch from a distance, he engages in mortal combat with his little nemesis. By the time they reach him, though, he has died of a bludgeoned skull. The casket has vanished, reunited once more with Maximus Leo's coffin and ending the curse's deadly temptation. La Main du Diable is an excellent combination of suspense thriller, chills, and religious mysticism that charitably redeems us for our weaknesses and the reputation of a distinctive film director. Thanks for listening. If you like what you hear, please don't forget to hit subscribe.